Hey, good morning, Kurt. Morning to you all. Charts are looking halfway decent. We've got news at I can just throw a Y up there if you can hear me. Manuel, good to see you. Benjamin? Yes, sir. Been doing this for a few weeks now. Beautiful. Morning, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get started. Hopefully you all can see my screen just fine. I'm going to get my super sophisticated disclaimer up there, letting you all know that I'm not a financial advisor. This is all for educational purposes only. Trading is risky. Most traders lose money. In fact, you probably shouldn't listen to a single thing I say. Don't take anything I say and go and make trading decisions whatsoever. There we go. There's my advisory. This is all for education purposes only. Fantastic. We can get rid of that. Great to see you all this morning. We're going to get into the charts now, and we're going to take a look and see kind of what's going on as far as the opening range and the types of signal days that I have identified. I posted some of this stuff up in Discord last night and talked about, this is the beginning of my thesis building process, and it always is. You can do it on the day before, you can do it on the morning of. Honestly, I don't really think it matters too much. I kind of prefer to do it the night before because there's going to be days where you do it the night before and you come in the next day and you say, that is perfect. That is the most best setup that signal that I got yesterday could have possibly presented. That's fantastic. And then there's days where you come in and it still looks okay or whatever, but it's just not doing exactly what you said the night before. However, I like to go through and put my annotations up there the night before and see kind of what the market has done in relationship. And also by doing so, I can come in today and always kind of see, maybe I missed something last night or whatever. So we'll start up on the US 30. Friday, there was a peak formation low made on Friday. I just said Friday twice, whatever. Day 1, 3-day cycle. And then yesterday, the trending day. Day 2, 3-day cycle. Friday was also a bit of a first screen day. Yesterday, obviously, there's the trend trade on day 2 of the cycle. Level 1 consolidation. You can see that big run up. Use that trend line trick. It broke. Level 2 consolidation. And then now maybe we're up into level 3. Level 3 means absolutely nothing unless a peak formation gets put in place at the high, which I don't necessarily have as of right now on the 1 hour. I'll come down to 15, and you can kind of see, whether or not that's a peak formation high, whatever. But I do have this annotated up there as that's the high, right? Previous day's high. It's day 3 of the cycle. So I can look for associated setups with that. We're at the high of the current week, blah, blah, blah. Those are all the really, vital details. I can frame my day. Market yesterday on the 5-minute chart put in a peak formation high and dropped it back down, and they went into this rectangular consolidation for... Boy, that's quite a long time. Put in a little W, peak formation low, and started to get our levels of rise. One, and we spiked up into the high twice. Am I saying right now that this is going to be a reversal? No, but I want to be aware of what the daily cycle is doing, because if we hit the high, if we come up into these areas, at 9:30 or something like that, that can give me a leading indicator in what kind of setup I could be looking for, or if I want to take it at all. Let's go to gold. And I'll start again. Same process applies. 1 hour chart. Previous week's low has been triggered early in the week, yesterday, as well as today. And actually, you can kind of see if you were in the stream yesterday, level 1, level 2, level 3, peak formation high. And I had this drawn as this was all trap volume, large consolidation. And I had that line back down to the low. This is where the pump began. So it's kind of nice to see this, has made it down there. It didn't make it there in a parabolic fashion. I did not take a trade on this yesterday, but, it's still nice to see the pattern playing out. Now, today, they've expanded the opening range to the downside. The only thought process that I have is, will today become a large expansion day where we just keep on running down all day long? Basically, breakout, pullback, continuation, or will the breakout fail for today? And that's the only two thoughts that are going through my head. Peak formation high made at the beginning of the day in Asia, and they came down once and twice. They've stair-stepped it down twice, and now they've been pumping it back up. The good thing is, if this does turn into some kind of low-hanging fruit down into level 3, that is 150 pips back down to the low. Would I be willing to take that? I don't know. But we'll see. We got peak formation high from the level 1 continuation down to level 2. So I'm going to mark off this as my high. Because that is the high of the last peak formation that was made. And really, I could probably put this down kind of situated in this area somewhere. I'll throw it right here. That looks nice. And that's it. I'm either going to look for low-hanging fruit, or 9:30 opens up, push 3. We've got breakout traders in the market at the beginning of the week. Those guys, they're already calling the Lamborghini dealerships and things like that and calling their family, letting them know I am now the richest man on earth. So maybe they're going to go back for those stops. We'll see. But that is my thesis today. This is day 3 of the cycle. Day 1, day 2, day 3 of the cycle. That's really it. Gold is I already know people are going to ask me again later on in this session, what do you have for gold? So I'll just leave this up there and make sure we'll come back to it, I'm sure. The pound, vertical, awesome. Trading setup-wise, breakout Monday, that level is going to become important. That breakout level from Friday, I'm going to project that across. And also, I think I'm just going to leave the weeks open up there, because that level is probably going to be, for this week, the most important. I'm going to zoom out. I'm just on a 5 minute. Let's go to the 1 hour. Get a bit of an overview. Not that I'm, trying to do multi-time frame analysis or whatever, but I use the 1 hour to identify the best weekly template. So peak formation high was made. I'm not going to count all those weeks, but that was the first week that the week had opened and closed down. Here's the second week down. This is the first week. Actually, it's not quite the first week of this is the first week of breakouts, excuse me. And then we had the second week of breakouts and the second week of lower close. And then last week we had the third week of breakouts and also the third week of lower close. And then right at the beginning of this week, they've triggered the low, put in a peak formation low. And then now, maybe we're going to get a first green day today or whatever. I have no idea. But we spiked the low of the week, and now we're back up at previous day's high or high of week opening range high level. Whether or not that's going to provide a good setup for me, I have no clue. Let's go down to the 5 minute chart and take a look. Peak formation low was made at the beginning or in the London session today. Noticing how price moves, right? I just find this stuff unbelievably interesting. So they came up and they went into consolidation, right? This is one way people are always asking me now, how do you identify where level 1 ends? There's a few ways that you can do it. Number one is using the trend line trick. And doing this is the highest place that the market had traveled. This is going to be the first level of rise on the day. Something like this. But even more importantly than that, I really find the psychology of how the market moves to be interesting. Market came up. They went into consolidation. They spiked the high, got people to go long early. Came back down in 3 pushes, causing chaos, confusion, forcing people or making people believe this is going to go back down. Notice how they did it in 3 runs, 1, 2, and 3. Then they put in a peak formation low to continue the move higher. So they created consolidation, spiked the high, spiked the low, and they continue. That is how price will move on any given time frame, on any given day, any given week, blah, 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 right? I've put that slide up there a few times. I'll throw it up there again just for anybody who maybe has never seen it. This is how the market moves all the time. Don't take my word. Go study how it moves. Level 1, trend line trick. Consolidation, spike the high, spike the low, continue. Consolidation, spike the high, spike the low, continue. It just does the same thing over and over again. And once you start to see that pattern, you really, truly cannot unsee it. And it's like the veil has been lifted from your eyeballs. Anyways, I'm not here to ramble on. So level 1, consolidation. Now maybe we're up into 2. We've triggered previous day's high. Like all those things are what's really, truly important. But this gives me kind of a reference for what's happening on the day. Do I want to take a trade on this? Am I talking about it for an extensive period of time because I believe that this is the best trade setup for the day? No, not necessarily. But we are at the high of the week. So maybe something to watch in the future. Inside day on the Euro USD peak formation low. This was an inverse head and shoulders peak formation. So I got my trend line drawn there. This is all level 1. Spike the high, spike the low, rise. Again, just like the pound, this was 2. Except on the day itself, peak formation high. This is kind of the first level consolidation. I'm not going to overcomplicate it or confuse it. This is inside day. They've triggered the high. This is either going to be after an inside day or an inside bar. The only 2 things that you can expect are either going to be a range expansion of that bar or a breakout that fails. So they broke out. Maybe the breakout will fail, or maybe this is breakout pullback, and we're getting a range expansion now of that inside day, maybe to the upside as like a day 2 range expansion. Actually, day 3, 3-day cycle, but, day 2 of the week, Tuesday. Scrolling out a little bit. Last week, fairly consolidated week. Opening range for the week. They put in a peak formation at the low of the week. They put in a peak formation at the high of the week. That peak formation at the high of the week made a higher high. And you can kind of see, if just looking at this looks kind of ascending triangle-like. So I think that there's a good possibility that we're looking at some kind of explosive move. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating. As far as actual trading setups, I've got my levels. I've got my signal. And that's all I'm going to look at and worry about. NASDAQ, I had this as a first green day, scrolling back and out. Gosh, there we go. Market's been coming down. In fact, we're going to take a look at the daily chart real quick, and I don't usually want to do this, but just looking at the daily chart, right? This has been going up for an extended period of time. You can see the consolidation up top that is broken down, and we've been getting this expansion to the downside. Cool. That's all I need to know. 1 hour chart, we've been going down. We've got multiple days of breakouts. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days of breakouts. So that is kind of the first criteria that I'm looking for, the first characteristic of a first green day. Then they put in a peak formation at the low of this current week and also the low of last week. So we're down low. That's really the second criteria. A day that's opened, attempted to trade lower, and then closed above opening price for that day. Large dump. Consolidation at the low of the week, and now we're in that first run up. This is either going to be a first green day trap, or this is going to be a large expansion of the box to the upside. That's the only 2 thoughts that are going through my little brain. Yesterday was also an inside day. We have not triggered the high of that bar just yet. We're just trading up towards it. So what I would really like to see is a bit of a dump, more of a consolidation, and then I would prefer to see a pump. This first green day looks really clean, very nice. I would prefer that the first green day works out, but my preferences don't matter for the market. So I need to frame my day and figure out, does that even make sense? Larger inverse head and shoulders at the low, peak formation at the low of current day. Run up once, twice. Maybe I've miscalculated. Maybe this was 3. Maybe this is running down. I don't know. We do have larger news at 9:45. Yep, Katie, thank you. I'll come back to gold since there's already people asking for it, and that's perfectly fine. I'm more than happy to go back. All right, but that's my thoughts on gold. I'm looking for a buy low opportunity. If the first green day trap starts to play out, so be it. There's a lot of room to get back down to the low of the week. That would be fine with me as well. Oil. Oh, boy, oil. I think I'm going to wait for this to set up more. Definitely going to wait for this to set up more. Peak formation made at low of current week yesterday. Not a first green day. However, this was peak formation low of week. Day 1, 3-day cycle. They triggered previous week's low. Scrolling out a bit further, you can see what the market's kind of been doing. Spike to the high, spike to the high. Now we're in consolidation again. I want to see a better pattern. I think that there is going to be a long trade that presents eventually. Again, waiting for a long trade eventually is not a trading setup. So this could very well continue to break down. If you look at the 1-hour chart, they put in the peak formation low, and they popped up, and they popped up, and they popped up. This could be a peak formation high now at the high of the current week. We could be trading in between the high and the low. So that is one thing that I definitely want to keep in mind. The weekly template itself, spike to the low, spike to the high, 3 levels of rise. We're broken down, and we're going back towards the low. So I want to watch this level, and I want to watch the gap between this level here and this level here to see if this is just a retest of that trap volume zone. If they go back into consolidation, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. The way this is moving just seems odd to me, but whatever. This is like creeping trend for 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 hours of creep back down. So this is definitely on my list of interesting pairs to be watching. If you're wondering what gap I'm talking about, this previous day's low from Friday, this previous day's low from Monday. On a day 2 of the 3-day cycle, this can turn into a retest kind of zone where they come back down and tap into it, goes back into consolidation. Maybe we see a short squeeze, maybe we don't. But anyways, that's what I'm looking for on this. Everything else, when I pulled this up, I almost threw up in my mouth. There's no way I'm watching this. I mean, look at this. There's no way. All right, so we've established that that is disgusting. I mean, this is just whipsaw back and forth. Who cares? Cat, I took a long trade on this yesterday, coming out of consolidation for the short squeeze. Took profits, got stopped out at break even. Right there. I took profits up in here. I was expecting a larger run. I was holding for a larger run. We got stopped out. Very well. Now, on Monday, we broke out and closed outside of Friday's range, and now we're back into consolidation. Peak formation low from Friday. Run up, run up, run up. Peak formation high. So on the day itself, peak formation low, peak formation high from the low. And from the high. So this, you can already kind of see it, but the rectangle, the buildup of consolidation, whether or not that's a trade setup for today, I truly have no idea. Is this a pair that I necessarily really want to watch today? No, I think I'm going to wait for a signal day. Day 1. Ooh, nope. Okay. I'm going to wait for a better signal, and that's probably the best thing I can do. Euro JPY. Peak formation low, big run up. And now we've kind of run up again. That's not a trading setup, but what we do have is 3 days of breakouts to the upside. I do think that this has potential. I'm going to wait again, maybe first red day or something like that. That would be better. The Swiss, I'm not even going to try. Okay, peak formation low, consolidation, run, consolidation. I think this is probably 2, consolidation, run, 3. High of week. It's broken down, made a lower low on the inside. Peak formation low at the low of the day. I just said I'm not going to try, and yet here I am doing exactly that. Peak formation high, peak formation low. 1, 2, kind of the 3 back up. Maybe low-hanging fruit. I'm not really 100% sure, so I'm just going to leave it alone. This kind of does look like it could turn into a larger pump and dump. But I think I'm just going to wait, since this is a currency pair. I'm going to wait for a signal day. If this turns into first red day on a Tuesday, that'll give me a good Wednesday thesis. But other than that, going to leave that alone. Somebody wanted to see gold again. Let's go back and take a glance. We'll take a gander. We'll take a stare. So the rest of this trade setup kind of played out yesterday, where peak formation high, peak formation low, run up once, twice, 3 times, back up into the high. And then at the high of the current week from last week, peak formation high that's broken down. And we had all of this space. This is the space that I'm talking about. From where the move began, back down to get to the low, right? So that trade setup played out yesterday. Low-hanging fruit back down through the low. Didn't really get there in a parabolic fashion, but it did kind of get there. It looks like the continuation didn't occur until 11 o'clock, which is, again, part of the reason why I didn't take the trades, because I'm not trading at 11 o'clock. Yeah, anyways. So previous week's low has been triggered. Those are my signals to be watching this pair, or a better signal to be watching this pair. Beginning of the day, it's broke down. There was a peak formation high that was made in Asian session. Once down, twice down. My only questions are we going back for the breakout traders, or are we getting low-hanging fruit back down for 3 to the low? That's it. If we're making lower lows and lower highs, I'm probably more than likely going to search for the low-hanging fruit, especially because we're in a breakout, a large breakout. This is Friday. They broke out of Friday. We're in a strong, that could maybe indicate a strong trending market. So peak formation low, think about how the market moves. They have to put in a low first before they put in the high, and a lot of times they'll put in the high after 3 levels of rise. So 1, 2, maybe 3 back to the high. That gives me a solid thesis to just watch, kind of this level up here for low-hanging fruit. All right. The news. Yeah, I'm waiting for that news. If you all came here to see some action-packed film with me, like going crazy and scalping in and out of the market, very sorry. That is not what I tend to do. I'm on a time restriction. 9:45, I have to wait. 9:30, 9:45, I have to wait. New York open, and we have late session news. I am forced to wait. Why do I wait? Well, if the entire day builds a box, or even if the market starts to look really good, let's say you've got 3 levels of drop, they build a consolidation, maybe they even put in a little higher high, they start coming back down, and you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be good, this is perfect. You get into the trade. It starts to expand the range up a little bit, but there's still news over here to the right at 9:45. A lot of times that range, the expansion of that range will fail. They will stop hunt one more time coming into the news, and then they will go. I always get caught in the nonsense if I trade before the news. Sometimes I take the trade and it works out fine, but a lot of times I get caught in the nonsense. And I'd rather not wait, or I'd rather not have the feeling of 50-50. I would rather trade with some degree of certainty that news is not going to affect my trade. So I'd rather just wait and be patient. And if I miss the trade because it happened prior to the news, whatever. Honestly, the preservation of mental capital is far more valuable to me than any dollar amount in my account. Because if you could preserve your mental capital, it seems that the dollar amount will just be good anyways. That's kind of my view on it. I'm sure other people have other views and are willing to take those trades, but I feel like over time, maybe they will also come to that same realization. I'm certainly not here to tell everybody that my way is the only way. There's lots of ways to skin a cat. That is a really weird saying, but, old folksy sayings, they tend to be true for whatever reason. So, yeah, so let's get my screen set up. It's 8:25 in the morning right now. Poor cat, yeah. I don't even know how. I'm curious. I have to Google, how in the world did that saying even come about? Like, who's around, just sitting around doing that kind of stuff? But, whatever. All right, so indexes. I like both of them. As always, I really want to focus on the pairs that are going to give me the most opportunity at 9:30 around those times I'm looking to trade. If they provide me setups 80 to 90% of the time, those are the pairs I really would like to be watching. And both of the indexes seem to be setting up some way, somehow. They look like they're trading very clean. The levels are very clean and clear. I'm willing to watch both of them. Oil, got that up there on my list. We don't have any news on oil today. It's Tuesday. The inventories are tomorrow at 10:30, so I can watch this pair today. Should be fine. As far as currency pairs go, I really didn't identify any currency pair that made me jump out of my chair and start screaming, that's the one. Was pound okay? Maybe. But probably not for what I'm looking for. So I think that I'm just going to stick with my trusty few. Index, gold, and oil. The ones that always seem to provide the best setups. So I'm going to leave that there. And now it becomes a waiting game, and you all get to listen to me ramble for the next hour and 20 minutes or so about whatever. So if you all have questions, and, you know, this gives me an opportunity to wait and chit-chat and talk about whatever you need to. If something is setting up in a certain way and you want me to take a look at it, from the neck up, the dollar worth equals priceless. I must have said something. I don't remember what you were referring to. Oh boy. Is there a heartbeat pattern setting up on US 30? Well, kind of. Peak formation low, peak formation high, consolidation in the middle. I mean, that happens very frequently, Jay, but that could absolutely be the case where peak formation low was made yesterday on Monday. I think that's at the low of the day, right? So that would be the low of the week. Spike the low, spike the high. Now we pulled back inside. Consolidation. Jam the high, jam the high, jam the high, jam the high, break out, jam the low, jam the low. So that certainly could be. Which means that I would only have two. If that is the case, Jay, thought process wise, the only two things I would be looking for are a short squeeze or a parabolic trend trade with a channel. So if one of those starts to present, you know, we've made a higher high. That's a break of structure, peak formation high. They've made a run back down in 3 legs. We're at closing price. That absolutely could maybe be the setup. Am I willing to really necessarily take that right now? I really would prefer to wait. I would feel much more comfortable. NASDAQ is looking for a buy low. Yeah. Yep. And you know what? Honestly, US or NASDAQ could actually be the better setup considering we're still down a bit lower. Peak formation low, peak formation high, consolidation in the middle. Jam the high, jam the high, jam the high, break out, jam the low. You know, we're in level 1 or 2 for the day. We'll see. We will certainly see. Tommy, so with gold, my only two thesis ideas would be this is a breakout. There's traders right here. Their breakouts, their break-even stops, would maybe be up in this area. So if timing-wise, if they stop hunt, or not even stop hunt necessarily, but if they run it down for that third leg, let's say 9:30 opens up down here, that is a possibility for a short squeeze to go back up. Because based off of timing and the location of the chart in what level of the day and, you know, X, Y, and Z. However, if 9:30 opens up high, I only think there's one leg down, 2 legs down, and we open 9:30 up high, maybe even after the stops get hit. It could be a low-hanging fruit continuation back down in a strongly trending to the downside market. You know, we've already broke out of what was this, Friday's low? We've already broke out of Friday's low and closed. This could be a strongly trending market, and I certainly don't necessarily want to be counter trending that. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let's see. Peak formation high. This is kind of a larger peak formation. Trend line trick, run it all the way down. This could be one. What is the Dixie doing? No idea. I really don't watch the Dixie, and people are always asking me, you know, do you look at the Dixie in order to try to better identify what other pairs are doing? And the simple answer is no. I don't, not even a little bit. I never, ever look at a pair. I never look at an index and say, well, that index is doing this, so this one should follow. I never look at gold or oil and say, well, the CAD should blah. I never look at the dollar and say, well, that should make gold do whatever. I just look at the chart that is currently trading and see if that chart is set up specifically for me to take a trade. Because what I found is if I start using other charts to make predictions about what other charts are doing, I would go into a extreme analysis paralysis. A plus B equals C squared times 75. You start putting all these variables in there, and it's like, oh gosh, I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. So I avoid that at all costs. I just look at the one chart that I'm trading and go with that. Okay, gold. Owanda's the wrong chart. I need gold forex.com so that my indicators work properly. What? There we go. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've actually got some. We've got about 140 you in here, and we've got lots of time to wait. So, I've got questions. Number one, my YouTube content has been a little slow, so I do apologize for that. For all of you that really enjoy watching those videos and learning and things like that. YouTube content's been a little slow. I've been bringing this up every day, and I'm not searching for congratulations, but I do want everyone to kind of understand that I am getting married this weekend. So for all of you that are married, I'm sure you know that, you know, planning that stuff and getting prepped and ready for that is kind of my number one priority right now, as it should be. But once the wedding and the honeymoon and all that stuff is over, and I'm back and searching for better ways to present information to you all, what is some things that you all would like to see as far as the next YouTube videos? What topics do you feel would be best suited? Maybe do you think like a beginner's guide to this strategy would be good? Or just a beginner guide to trading in general? I'm really trying to find direction with the channel and you know, whatever clicks and views, who really cares? But I want to provide the best content that I possibly can. Okay, creation of a trading plan. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out me a little piece of paper here and all these ideas that you all are about to hopefully give me about what you would like to see. And maybe if it's something that maybe you're struggling with, or maybe something that you've been thinking about doing and you've just never really had any solid guidance, or maybe you've looked at other channels for guidance because you haven't been able to find the information. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday templates. So we could do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as well. I'll do a repeat of that. And then we could do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday templates. I'm writing all this down. So let's see here. Trading plan. That's a good one. I don't think I have a video on that yet either. Where to place stop. Really pound home patience. Can't do well without it. So how to develop patience. That would be interesting. That is a very complex, sort of diverse topic about how to develop patience. I think that would be good. Is there a way to make a mechanical plan? If you're talking about like mechanical to the sense of almost mathematical, that's not necessarily what I'm doing. Where to place stops. That's a good one. Stop loss placement. A bit more on choosing the right broker. Okay. Okay, so execution on 1 minute chart. I've got a lot of examples of those. Let's see. Scaling in and out of parabolic moves. That's a good one. So basically scaling, how to scale. And I'll even include how to pyramid. How to pyramid a position. That's a really good one. All right. Choosing the right brokers, scaling in and out. Let's see. Okay, 1 minute entries, got that one. Becoming the best loser. Okay, so how to become a really good loser. I like that one. That's a tough one. I think that's one of the number one reasons people are still struggling, because you pitter patter your account up, or even if you take parabolic trades and your account is jumping, you just have one bad day and it's all downhill from there. Present my losers. I still take losers, and I can certainly talk about the ones that I do take. So are we talking about losers like I take a losing trade, or are we talking about losing days? Because I take a lot of losing, not a lot of losing trades, but I take losing trades that were not accurate entries, and then I'm patient and I wait, and then I take another entry and I have a winning day, because my winners tend to expand and explode past my losers. If you're talking about showing losers, like the I think that how to be a good loser would probably tie into coming back from a losing trade, like on the day. How do you not let things tumble? What's my process mentally? I think that's a really good one. I'm trying to scroll back up. Contract sizing. Consolidate your entire playlist into one video. Okay, I can try and do that. That's going to be a very long that's going to be a long video. Consolidate everything to one video. Because I never want to, like, if I put out a piece of content, I'm trying to put out the whole story in that video. So if I'm putting out the entire strategy on one video, that's going to make it to where I'm going to put out the whole thing, and that's going to be probably like an hour or 2 hour long video. Trading plans, contract sizing, templates, how to incorporate signal days. Okay, see another one about how to scale in and out. That's good. How to pass a combine. I like that one. Let's see. Your favorite. Uh-oh. Okay, how to not FOMO. That's going to go into the patience one. You should take a newbie to the strategy and record your hand holding with them. I've actually been thinking a lot about that. About, you know, taking some people that have been less than successful and doing like a trading floor type thing with them. I don't want to say that because that sounds sketchy, but like having a group of 5 or something like that, and just every single day work with those 5 people and see how far I can get them in, you know, a few weeks. Favorite setups? That's an easy one for me. How to overcome a losing streak and regain confidence. You know what's even more important than overcoming a losing streak? Is overcoming your winning streak. I found that winning streaks are actually far more dangerous. Let's see. How to not FOMO. Becoming a good loser. I like that one. The Cam Turtle. That'd be cool. Hey Cam, redoing old vid. Yeah, that's trade. I'm thinking the same thing. Like a lot of my older videos, I think that the content was really good, but the way that I presented could have been better. And also, like, my old mic was so horrible that everyone complained about how raspy and honestly it was horrible. It was miserable to listen to. So I think that maybe going back and redoing some of those old topics with better audio would be nice. You talk very fast in some of them. Yeah. And then I slowed down and people said I was talking too slow. And then people said I was too quiet. And then sometimes people say it's too loud and I'm screaming into the mic. So I can never win, unfortunately. I can just keep trying to talk as slow as possible, I guess. And average risk to reward, 1 to 3. Win rate is between 60 and 70%. Choose. And that was over a course of 50 trades. Ahmed. One beginner setup everyone should master before moving on. Okay. How to trade different time frames. Neil, I think that one might be. So the thing is, I don't even care about what time frame. I just have a preference for the time frame. But every time frame is traded the same. If that makes any sense. I've just found that for day trading, one trade a day, document share your recordings. Well, I mean, if I take a trade that day, but yeah, that's a good one. And 1 minute is not a strategy at all. 1 minute chart is just for the entry. I'm in level 3. I'm in level 1. That's it. I'm at the level, and I go to the 1 minute chart. Realistic expectations, that's a really good one, because I tell you what, when I came into trading, I did not have realistic expectations, because my original mentor told me that, you know, I was comparing myself to other people. That was my problem. So realistic expectations. Yes, Kent. I took a trade on that yesterday. So my trade was short compared to US CAD goes long. It's the chart. The charts are just inverted. No, Ken. I still mainly only take trades, especially on indexes, gold and oil, after 9:30. There are some rare occasions where I get into a trade, but it's still usually going to be in the second hour, unless there's news at 8:30. For example, like a larger news event, right? So like non-farm payrolls, CPI, PPI. Sometimes those provide really good setups that are already confirming a larger setup that's in play. So I will take a first bounce in the first hour if those present. Yeah, so all of these charts, I mean, for example, right? This is the NASDAQ. I don't like this new update that TradingView did. It's kind of annoying, actually. So that's the NASDAQ, but that's the futures. It's the same exact thing. Like this is gold, and this is gold. It's the same thing. That's why. So I chart on the Forex pairs. I chart those because that's the indicator works the best with those pairs, and that's really the only reason. You know, if the indicator worked well with the futures, then I would just do it for the futures. But yeah, my screen is cut off on the left. My apologies. Let me fix that real quick. There you go. 3-day cycle 101. Okay. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. How to backtest properly. I've done a few videos on that, but I don't think that I think I did like live streams on it. You're probably right. I should definitely do like a full-blown backtesting, just straight up video on how to properly chart and backtest. Oh, you know what? That one right there, the first bounce. I haven't done a first bounce video in a very long time. Let's see. Toby, yeah, but if you just look at the 10 a.m. candle, how's that? It's not repeatable. There has to be some kind of other setup that makes sense, or some other details that went up into that 10 a.m.'s candle forming. You know what I mean? Like, I see what you're saying, but I have to disagree with that one, because I've been there, done that. What if I just watch, just look at that one candle every single day? Could I do whatever? Anyways. How to recognize a reset. Okay. How to keep concentration during a session. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that as a note with the... Where did it go? Favorite setups, overcome a losing streak. Great. Where's the patience one? Oh, developing patience. I think that's going to be good for part of patience. So patience and concentration. That would be a good combination of topics. Terry, yes. I know I've been sitting here running my mouth about a bunch of other stuff. We're just waiting for 9:45, so excuse me. Yesterday, NASDAQ first green day. This big run up, break-in structure to the upside, peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation in the middle. This is my template for the day as far as levels and things to watch. It could be Gazo. Unless this, consolidation, spike the high, spike the low, continuation. Okay, that's good. Thank you for that. Routine added into patience and concentration. I have to say, I have watched a few other trading channels, and they come in with this is my my morning routine. I get a glass of 36-ounce water, and it's sparkling from the glaciers of Montana, and then I have my coffee. It has to be exactly 1 hour after the day starts, but that is such horse donkey crap. I'm sorry. There was one guy, he's like, I wake up at 5:30 every morning, no alarm. I don't need an alarm because I just get up, and then I send all of my affirmation texts. If you wake up and send me an affirmation text at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm blocking your number. I'm telling you that right now. If you send it to me every day, I'm going to report you to the police. There's absolutely no way that some of the stuff that people are saying on the internet is true. And I'm sorry, but I'm just keeping it very real. That sounds very, wrong and kind of rude, but it's the truth. All right. But I can definitely do that. My kind of routine as far as charting and waking up and all that stuff. Yeah, I know what you meant, Dance, but that's what brought. Whenever I see these trading routine videos and I see what people are saying, I'm just like, it's so impractical. And it's not. I get it. It's good to develop routine and things like that, but it's just like if you try to follow a diet, right? If you follow a diet because that diet is the fad diets and stuff, you're never going to follow that stuff long term. You're just not. You know it. I know it. You're just not. There's ways that you can diet and do these certain things properly in a way that you just don't eat garbage and you can be healthy. And then you just work out or exercise regularly and you'll be fine. You don't need to. Same thing with trading. Everything kind of transfers over. My process that you all have seen me do on my videos where I showed up this morning at what? I started my stream at 8. Now, I do wake up at 5:30 every morning without an alarm. I just get up. Is that because I'm out of necessity? No. I just... Probably from my military years, my brain is programmed to wake up early, and I haven't got away from that yet. That's it. That's really the only reason. But coming to the screen at a certain time of day with my annotations up on the screen, things like that, this is it. I mean, I don't have any super crazy fancy thing where I'm whatever. There's no fluff. There's no spice to it. There's no I don't know how to describe it. Pre-market checklist. I like that one. That's a good one. And I'll add that into the, where's it? Daily routine, concentration, and like daily checklist. Toby, I used to actually, I've got multiple whiteboards in my office now, and I used to have the same thing. I had this whiteboard when I lived in the barracks. I had this whiteboard up on my wall with all my trading rules, and you know what would happen? I would break them constantly. That actually, the whiteboard with the trading rules on there actually didn't help me at all. My biggest progression came from not even journaling. Like, journaling's really good, and I highly suggest that people do journal and things, but keep a verbal log. A verbal log of your day-to-day. A verbal review. You could do a voice memo on your phone, and I've said this in a few other live streams and videos and things, that I call my mom every single day, and I talk to her about my trading day because she understands trading. She trades as well. And she's somebody that I can talk to about this. And going through my journey of failing horribly, miserably, I would tell her every single day what I did wrong. And it was the same things over and over again. But saying it out loud and hearing myself say it every single day, you keep on doing the same exact stupid behavior. And then eventually her telling me, you know, you're doing the same thing every day. So if you just remove that one thing, oh, okay. So then that puts it in my mind for the next time. And maybe the next time that I see or I start to feel that way, I do it anyways. And I tell her I did it anyways. But over time, you're chipping away at yourself and forcing yourself to change. I think that human beings have a very hard time once you're set in your ways and being capable of truly changing. At least I did. You know, you're set in your ways. You know, you want to do whatever you want to do, but over time, you have to be able to change your mindset completely. It's not going to be an overnight thing. And I guess that's something I definitely should put into the expectation video. Have I ever been interested in stocks? No, I really haven't. And that's just maybe for like long-term investing, but that's completely outside of what we're talking about here. I've never tried to use this style of trading with stocks and things, so I think I would be very, very outside of my element. I also don't really care for like when you come to the screen on a futures pair or a forex pair. I mean, you can see everything that's happened. I really like that. And on stocks, you know, it might show you like the pre-market data. With stocks, can you get like the overnight data? I really don't know. But I really like that with futures and things, I can see everything that has happened. I have all of the information. Futures, forex, like I really like that about these markets. There we go. Anyways, thank you all for sitting through my little rant. You all got me fired up on a topic, but we're here for it, right? Trade bank stocks. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. And you know what, Kel? What you just said about your mom not touching trading till, I think that's probably, I had a discussion with a gentleman a few days ago, and I told him what I did, and he said, oh, so you're a gambler. The problem is people just don't understand. And that's why trading is such a lonely profession, because people just don't understand. They don't understand that there are profitable ways of looking at this and building it into a business. It's not just, I'm going to guess which way it's going to go. But once you take the time, like most of you probably have, and you start seeing these patterns over and over again, it's like, oh, this is a winnable game. I just need to work on myself. Once you understand the pattern, the only thing that you have to get over is what I just went on a little rant about managing yourself and not repeating the same behaviors that are destroying your account over and over again. Because, think about your P&L curve and think back to every losing day that you've had. Think about what caused you to have that losing day. Think about, on that losing day, was it because you revenge traded for more than 3 times or 2 times? Was it because you didn't know what to look for and you just kept guessing? Was it caused by, what's some of the other ones? Let's see. Maybe you were just wrong. But here's the thing. So if you're just wrong and that causes you to have a losing day, what good behaviors came from that? Okay, I was wrong. I had a losing day. I have losing days. But you know what I don't do is start tumbling downhill and making that loss massive. You quickly come to a realization, I'm wrong about my thesis. There's no other trading setup available. I'm done. And then you move on to the next day. If you look back at your every losing day that you've ever had and studied, identify your problems and attempt to implement solutions. Because if you have less losing days and you just maintain the same amount of winning days, your P&L curve is already going to greatly benefit. It's a simple equation. Remove the bad, continue to do what you're doing well. And like me right now, I'm already profitable, but there's things that I can do better. Like yesterday, for those of you who were watching me trade the CAD, I was trying to hold that trade longer, and I'm trying to develop a better way of holding trades for the larger move instead of just being okay with 50 pips or, a sizable move. I want to hold things that if I look at that trade setup and say that is a trade that is capable of going 150, 200 or more, I want to hold it for that, at least with one contract. So, yeah, exactly. No gain without pain. And I've got my drill instructor plaque up here on the wall. Part of the number one, because I'm proud of it, but also I like to look at it sometimes because big bold letters, discipline above everything. And one of the little silly sayings that we used to have was, through pain comes discipline. That's like what we, make the recruits say and things like that. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Oh, gosh, Jay. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know if I know there are people out there that do it, but anyways. If you all are just coming into the stream right now and you're like, why is this guy not talking about trading and he's just rambling on about random whatever. All right, I'm just waiting for time to expire. We're into a new hour now, which is good. I've got my levels in place. Yep, oil. We just spiked up. Does that mean it's going to continue to go higher? I don't know. But what I can do is look at 9 o'clock's open and behavior of price. What level are we at? Okay, we're sitting just above previous day's low. Let's start building our story. All right, I'm done rambling. Let's focus. We've let time continue to expire, but now we need to start focusing on what story is building. What is the market trying to get me to do so that I can avoid getting caught in a trap or nonsense? What setup might be presenting? Is it presenting? Do I not have a setup? Right. Like I said, we've got news at 9:45, so I still want to wait. This high was somewhat conveniently placed right at 9. The new hour's open, which is interesting. Robert, that exactly what you just said. Yes. I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. I'm not holding trade. And one of the big things that I really do like to talk about is I don't like holding trades just to hold trades. Not every trade is a home run. In fact, this is another conversation that I recently had with my mom about. This is my problem is, I keep on just accepting 50 or 60 or 70 pips when I've identified that is a larger trade setup going 150 to 200, and then I don't hold it because I'm just happy with what I've received. Now, there are days where absolutely that is perfect. That is exactly what you should do. You should categorize it left and right. On the left, I have identified this as part of my planning process as a trade setup that is capable of going further because it is a larger range expansion. That is a setup for 150, 100, 150, 200, 300 pip move. And that is my reasoning for why I'm leaving the runner. Opposed to, I just want to get 300 pips. Absolutely not. That is a very important different, what is the word? Very important difference. Yes, and she still is. Very different, very, 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 very different trading methods. And she also does stocks, not what I'm doing. So, but, as far as scaling up in size and things like that, I've already kind of done that. Like, I'm very comfortable trading things with a certain amount of size. I'm good with that part. But the part that, like I said, I would like to improve is now that I've scaled up with size and I'm capable of consistently getting, 40, 50, 60 pips on a daily basis, which is fantastic. I want to be able to make more through the ability to see the market with enough clarity and have the emotional intelligence to hold that trade longer whenever it presents in a certain way. Yep, Toby, and I think people, even 25, right? You can just consistently take 25 out of the market and be just fine. But I always want to continue to improve. I never want to get to a place in trading where I'm just comfortable. I want to always be better. Me. I want to be better. What trades how could I improved? What did I do well? What could I have done better? Maybe what did I do wrong? Ask myself that every single day and chip away. Continue to chip away and chip away and chip away at myself. Okay, so 9 o'clock opened and engulfed to the upside on a first green day. Let's man, they popped down just below or just above previous day. The only problem is I don't have a consolidation. I don't have anything here for reference at all. I just have creep. But I can look and see, did that wick trap shorts in the market? You know, which, funny enough, is exactly where 9 o'clock has just opened. So that can help me kind of build part of a thesis. That looks interesting. That looks interesting. Gold. All four of these are building. What time is it? Where you, Paulie? I'm on the East Coast of the United States, so it is currently 9:11 a.m. Eastern time. And I know some of you probably, I don't know if maybe y'all wonder why I don't put the session boxes up there anymore. The session timing windows are still exactly the same, but as a charting preference, I found that having that yellow box up on my screen while I'm trading is actually kind of annoying. I'm very weird when it comes to charting. I really like the blank, clean, clear appearance and having nothing in the background to subconsciously distract me. Anyways. Cam, could I see what your oil futures feed looks like? Looks exactly the same. We can take a look at the 1 minute. Is it like super low volume? No? Looks fine. I do need to log into my broker, though. I haven't even done that yet. Yeah, and that's like, I almost feel silly when I tell people to remove that grid background because it's such like a nitpick thing. But do you use it? Or is it just there and it's another thing for your eyeballs to look at? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. Is like, I don't need all of this stuff floating around on my screen distracting me from what really matters. And that's time, the level, and just like Stacey says, behavior of price once it gets to that level. Like, that's really all it is. And do I have a setup based off of all these other things that I'm talking about? You know, is the day actually truly appropriately set up for what I'm looking for? Yay or nay? And I don't know if you all are on TikTok or whatever, but I like to float around and see what other traders are doing in those groups, and I pop into some people's stuff. Again, I don't like to speak. I'm not speaking poorly of these people, but they're on there with their trading bots and their 7,000 indicators on the screen, and it hurts me a little bit when I see that, because I'm like, I just don't understand how someone could ever profitably do that over a long period of time. All right, oil has me at a disadvantage. This looks like it's about to go absolutely bonkers. All right, again, I know I said I was going to stop talking about random stuff. Now I really need to, so I'm going to start paying attention. Holy cow. Oil, very well. We'll just call it that. All right, it's higher high, 1, 2, 3 down. That's what I get for running my mouth. If you get a chance, explain. Hey, Rim, I can absolutely do that. And I think it's such a simple thing, right? And I can very easily clear that up for you. If I get a lull in a few minutes, I'll explain that, all right? I need to log into my broker. Okay, and we're gonna get this up. We're gonna get. All right, we're all logged in, ready to go. I'm really liking the indexes. Oil caught me off guard very well. But we're at the levels that I've designated this morning as an area to be watching. So I might get a little quiet here in a bit, but if I start seeing something really good, I will make sure to keep you all involved best I can. Yeah, and you can see the little continuation pattern, the ascending triangle. 9 o'clock opened up. They're making higher lows. And when I say higher lows, I mean the extreme down close candles. 1, 2, 3. They keep ascending the close, coiling for the explosion. You know what? And honestly, I've been sitting here saying, oh, I missed oil, whatever. I might not have missed anything. And I'm just being weird. No, TR 100%. I'm not going to take a trade. I'm in my own mind. I'm very adamant about that. 9:30 at a minimum. I need to wait for 9:30. I need to wait for that 9:45 news. I think that 9:45 isn't it CPI too? Like it's a fairly large news event, especially with the current U.S. economy conditions. I imagine that is going to be a large mover. PMI, very well. Okay, Rim, I'm going to answer your question. So, Rim, are you still there before I answer this? Because I want to make sure that you. I just want to make sure that I actually answer and you're at the screen. Lots of markets setting up for it. TR, the fact that you can even see that's good stuff. Rim. Okay. So what is the difference between a signal and a setup, or what is a setup in general? I like to think in categories, lists, and things like that, right? And if it's a process, there should be a list. There should be step-by-step sort of instructions for what to look for. That is how my brain personally works, and I know that a lot of other people like that as well. But I have a very structured, I like to think so, a very structured mind when it comes to that kind of stuff. So the signal would be like your first red, your first green, inside day, 3 days of breakouts, day 1, 3-day cycle. Like those are all signals. And those, if it was like a flow chart, right, you could put that in the first box. That's your signal. As like subcategory for that box, I want to draw this out, but I can't. Subcategory for that would be like you're in a down moving market and you have 3 levels of rise. That is a signal on the day. I'm in an up moving market and I have 3 levels of drop. That is a signal on the day. I have a weekly template that has put in a peak formation high and peak formation low. That is a signal. But when you come to the screen on the day that you actually look to take the trade, based off of that signal and the characteristics of that trade signal, and it's those signals are telling you what to look for on the following day. Did the market set up on the day that you look to take the trade in the manner that based off the signal it was supposed to? Because the signal leads to the setup. But if it's not set up appropriately according to the characteristics of that signal, then you don't have a setup. And I hope that makes sense. But to me, that is what a setup is signal leading to setup. Setup is formed. Then I go flowchart, next step, entry criteria, time of day. Next flowchart over, one more box over. Now I have trade management, all kinds of stuff like that. Rem, did that make sense what I just said? I wonder if I should that might actually be a decent video idea as well, is like if I did a flow chart. What do you all think of that? If I did a whole entire flow chart video, like the entire video was based on the flow chart of from point A to point B, how do you know you have a setup? All right. Got that up there. Cool. How many setups are there? I think I have on my trade plan, I think I have 11. But you don't need that many by any means. What is a flowchart? Box, information, next step. Box, information, next step. All right, good stuff, Rim. I'm right there with you, Rim. Whenever there's a lack of detail in something, and it's not explained for me, I tend to overcomplicate, and then I look back and think, what in the world? What was I trying to do? It was literally just point A to point B. Why did I try to put, 7 other steps in there? Do you only take trades from high of day, low day, or closing? No. In fact, I don't even use closing price as part of my entry criteria. Closing price to me is just, I like to use it just like previous days high and low as a reference for up close days, down close days, and trap volume. When I was learning from him with his whiteboard videos and all that other stuff, he never really talked about closing price that much at all. So it was never something that I incorporated it in. Asimovic, yeah, it could be. It could be. Ooh, gold. Oh, man. We got 4 minutes to the New York Open. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart one more time. Interesting. So, Ren, what you were just saying about, because he's very, time level behavior price, and that's great. I'm so grateful to have learned from him because without his teachings, I wouldn't be here right now. That's 110%. Very grateful. But for any of you that have listened to me talk, I had a lot of gaps to fill. So he says these things about, time level behavior of price, and that got me, 50% of the way. But then I wanted definitions of exactly what that means. Time level behavior of price. What's the behavior of price? And then I picked up on little things from Steve Morrow about, how volume gets trapped. And, Al Brooks talks about strong up close candles people are buying and strong down close candles in an up move people are selling. So that taught me a lot about psychology of how the market moves. And, over time, kind of combining all those things together, taking the teachings from Steve Morrow, 3 levels, and peak formations, M's and W's, and combining that with the fact that 3-day cycle is the same exact thing as, it's not the same exact thing, but 3-day setups, it's kind of, they run parallel. Stacey's talking about first red, first green. Okay, so we can add that in there as something to look for. Good. And then combine all that with all that information blends in with one another. Weekly templates and all that stuff. It all blends together, and it blends in very well. So once you kind of blend all that together and you define, okay, well, time, levels, we already know the levels. Behavior of price, once we get to that level, I've defined for myself what I want to see at that level. Because what I struggled with originally was, because he would just say that over and over again, we're at the level, I just get in. We're at the level, I just get in. But then we're at the level and I just get in and it keeps going. But then it goes up another 2 levels and then drops, 200 pips. And I'm like, well, I had it right, but I just got in at the level and it kept going and I got stopped out 4 times. So I really liked filling in those blanks because it gave me something more concrete of what I personally am looking for. Because if you build your own system of what to look for, as long as it's actually built on facts and it's built on evidence and back testing, I can't screw that up. I made it. You know what I mean? So if you... hopefully I skipped those in time. Okay, 9:30's just opened. I'm going to mark off my 9:30 candle. We've got news in 15 minutes. If they start to confirm a setup prior to the news, and then the news, and then the news confirms the thesis, we'll continue to watch, or I will continue to watch for maybe the first bounce or something like that. I'm going to double check the... Okay, that's good. Good. All right. Now just to be very, very, very patient. Okay, NASDAQ just went vertical and triggered previous day's high at 9:30. US 30 on the open, 1-2 to the low. Is it going to continue lower, or is this the volume trap to go back up? I don't know, but that's what would be going through my head if I was currently in this trade, or, I'd be worried about. Is this a stop hunt, or is this the real move? Or are they going back up another time? Yeah, all of you in here, what we got? 193 in here right now. That's a good point, James. I just posted it again on... I posted it on Discord this morning, but I'm very easy to differentiate from everybody else. I'm very active in the Discord. My name is in red. And the announcements channel. And, those channels that only I can edit. If you want to cross-reference my name, don't get tricked by these people. They are scamming. I'm not going to message you and ask you for anything, ever. I'm not going to send you a friend request. If you want to send me a friend request, that's fine. I always accept them. But, I'm not going to contact you first. Ooh. All right, so this is... We had this all marked off, right? Peak formation at the low. Level 1. Level 2. Level 3. Ending in that 1, 2, 3. Peak formation high engulfment 9:30. Did not take it because I told you all my plan at the beginning. I'm going to wait for after the news. Now, I may have just missed this trade, and this is what I'm talking about. I would rather miss the trade this time, but that information will save me the next time. That's fine with me. I'm good with that. I can accept that. NASDAQ just triggered the high with that big pen to the high. They just triggered not only previous day's high. Yeah, it was the previous day's high, but that peak formation high. They could still go vertical to the upside. Breakout pullback. Again, I would like to wait for the news and check and wait and see. Let's build the full story. Okay, oil. Peak formation low. They pumped it up 1, 2, 3. If this is a long trade, do I really want to go long up here and be a part of the stop hunt back down? No. Again, I'm going to wait. Patience. Gold. We've triggered that level, that high. That's basically London's high of day, right? We've triggered that. We've hit stops. And they pulled back in a strongly down-moving market. Again, yes, it can go vertical. We've got space to get back up to those breakout traders. I have to pay attention. I have to be careful. Let's, again, 9:45. Let's wait for that 10 o'clock, 9:45, 10 o'clock time frame, time window after the news and see what the news does to the market and let that either confirm or obliterate my thesis. Euro USD. I feel like we just saw this exact pattern. I don't know if it was on Euro USD or inside day. They spiked the high, they triggered the bar, trades back up into the previous day's high and put in a new peak formation high. This pattern just showed up on something. I don't remember where. Anyways. Consolidation spiked the low. Spiked the high. Okay, this sideways consolidation. Think about that slideshow that I showed you all, how price moves. Consolidation, spike the low, spike the high. We're in a peak formation high, peak formation low scenario. Okay, we've got 7 minutes to the news. I can't do anything before then anyways. I'm very well hydrated. I will be back 30 seconds, maybe 45. Whoa, we got 205 in here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's fantastic. I think that's pretty close to all-time highs for this stream. I really appreciate every one of you being here. I'm glad that you all are enjoying the discussions and talking about trading, things like that. If you could just do me a huge favor, hit that like button real quick. I will be back in 30 seconds, and hopefully this news will confirm some thesis. And if it does, and I can get into a trade, we can talk about it. All right. Am I here every day? When I'm not teaching a webinar, my plan is to do these streams every single day on YouTube if I'm not teaching a webinar that week. I've really enjoyed doing these here on YouTube. I think they're a lot of fun. I really like hanging out with you all. And that's not just me saying that. I'm like genuine. I really have enjoyed, communicating with you all and talking and things. So it's been nice. All right, gold making a little run. Are we running for those breakout traders? Are we going to hit their stops? NASDAQ, sideways consolidation. Prior to the news, spike the low, spike the high, hold it in the box. Hold it in the range prior to the news. US 30s came down in a 1, 2, 3 and put in a peak formation low. 930s opened up 1, 2, 3 to the low. Down, up, down, engulfment to the upside. Consolidation in between a low and a high. Prior to the news, holding it in a range. Oil, honestly, they've been holding it in between these two levels here. I'm on the wrong watch list. What am I doing? There we go. I would have been shocked when I went to take a trade, or if I were to take a trade. I was on the wrong thing. Two minutes. Just waiting on the news. Notice how I still have these. Actually, I did put it up here for gold too. Where's 930's open for gold? Did 930 open up at 9 o'clock's open? Interesting. Okay, so this, just going to double check. 28. That little doji candle right there was the 930 open. Seven to 14 minutes after the news. Good stuff, John. You've remembered correctly. 100%. Michael, yes. Yep. And it's got, what do you call it? So, like, it's the course, all of the information that you need to know, and then there's a study binder there as well, because I understand that some people, or a lot of people, don't have time to spend 50 hours making that binder and finding all those examples. So I've included a lot of them in there. Okay, there's the news. Consolidation, spike the high, 1, 2, 3, spike the low. Run it back up to the high. Are we making a run for previous day's high on US 30? I think so. Okay, gold just stopped out breakout traders at break even. However, you know, is this going to turn into day 1 3-day cycle today? Is this peak formation at the high of the week, peak formation at the low of the week, or is this going to turn into a failed breakout of this rectangle, not of the day's range? Breakout, pullback, continuation. How do you trade after the news? 7 to 14 minutes. Think about the creation of a 15-minute bar. I'm looking for the trap. Either the trap or the continuation, but, you know, I like to see when people get caught or trapped trying to do something. Look at oil. Okay, we're 4 minutes after the news. Do I have that marked? Is that just previous day's high? I think so. I mean, it kind of is, Kevin, but I find it extremely fun because it's me versus everything else. You know, I'm constantly watching the behavior of other people and thinking about what they're doing, so I don't get hooked in. Okay, oil. I wonder if it's going to push through closing price or if closing price was the target. Okay, looking for oil to blow through closing price and go back towards maybe the high of the day. Depending on if they tap into closing price, go back into consolidation, that's a big yikes. New hour's about to open up. We're at closing price. Oil still has not really gone vertical of any kind. It's just been climbing and that's it. We have 3 minutes to the new hour. rid of y'all's ads here. I hit that oil long trade, by the way. The breakout of this ascending triangle. Back up to closing price. New hour is about to open. This is level 1 consolidation coming off the low of the day. Level 1 news, 9:30. Very large dump, resulting in a pump. Level 1 consolidation to continue low of day trade. Also parabolic, but regardless. Okay, the new hour's just opened. Someone earlier, what did you all say? Oil is taking souls. Yep, they are. And I was on the right side of it. Because I saw everyone's soul being taken. As you say that I say. I mean, it's true, though. Right? They spike into the low. 9:30 opens up. Tries to get people to go short. Just kidding. Peak formation high. Just kidding. News. There's the little channel. Breakout. Little channel. Breakout. Pin hammer. All right. Now I've already pulled a little bit off of this. Can't complain. Day 2, Tuesday, making higher highs. Dump, consolidation, level 1 for the pump. Same setup, different day. Except it was a long trade instead of a short trade. James, I'm on my funded account. Yep, Michael, I'm on the funded. Yep, prop funded. I got an account with Top Step for futures. On wheat? I don't think I have wheat up. I've got soybeans. I've got natural gas, but I've never taken a trade on either of those. Day 2 range expansion. Be careful about... I'm not telling you what to do. This is not advice whatsoever. But, retail loves the counter trend. NASDAQ is peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation in the middle. It's day 2 of the week, and we're making higher highs and higher lows coming off of a downwards facing market. Me personally, I would be a little bit worried about counter trending, something that might be doing a range expansion to the upside. It is still in Friday's range, correct? Like, we haven't even taken out Friday's high. Oh, gosh. Clicked the wrong thing. I'm flat on oil, by the way. Just for full transparency. I went into it with a scalping mentality, scalping thesis. My plan was not to hold, so I'm happy with that. We're good. TR, exactly. It hit the daily open. It pushed through the daily open as well. So everything below, of course, could be a trap to the downside. We could see an up close day today, but where's my? There we go. Oh, actually, on my other screen, it pushed through. Interesting. We tapped into it, so probably it's a good thing that I went flat, huh? What is that? 35, about 35 pips. So that was decent scalp. John, when there's late session news, I'm not a fan. So like 10 a.m., 9:45 news, not really a big fan. Compared to I come to a session that has no news, that makes me feel pretty good because I just wait for 9:30 and I'm green light for the whole session. I don't have to worry about manipulation or something weird. Now, oil does have news tomorrow at 10:30, so I got to keep that in mind. Still watching gold. Now that I'm out of that oil trade, I can really focus on everything equally. Also feel pretty good about, well, it could just be a pullback, really, so it really doesn't matter, but, Okay, so exactly what I was saying about being very careful not to counter trend something on a range expansion on a Tuesday. We're transitioning from down moving market to maybe going back to an up moving market. This is why I really was being super duper cautious watching the indexes about a reversal. Yesterday was first green day. The way that it presented, peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation, channel, coil. This could be a larger move that I don't really want to be a part of trying to counter trend. Maybe later in the session, there might be a scalp to reversal opportunity, but where did this new hour just open right there? About 214 in the stream today. Y'all are fantastic. I'm glad that you all have decided to tune in. I hope y'all are getting something out of this, even if it's just little one-liners that I constantly repeat. Hopefully it's helping you all with at least patience. If anything at all comes from these live sessions, hopefully it's keeping you all patient somehow, some way. James, with Apex, isn't there a some kind of limit where if you're in profit a certain amount and then you get a break-even trade that they stop you out? You can blow your account just from unrealized P&L being lost. I can't remember if that was Apex or if it was a different one. They have trailing stop. Okay. Yeah, that's. I wouldn't. I would never be able to do that, unfortunately. I would get beat up. I would blow that account. $80% off. That's not bad. So if you have a, you're saying that if you have a $50,000 account, let's say that I'm up $100 unrealized, and then I get a stop out break even. They're saying that I've lost $100, right? Okay. But you're also saying that with that $50,000 account, you can lose up to $2,500. What is your what's the daily drawdown, James, on Apex for that 50,000 account? Or is 2,500 the daily drawdown? Oh, there isn't one. So 2,500 total. That's the only thing. You just have a max drawdown. Gotcha. Okay, well that's not as bad. That makes it more reasonable. I could see that being okay. NASDAQ continue to expand the range to the upside. Gold. I don't know. Gold consolidation. Spike the high. Spike the low. James, check the 15-minute chart. Of course, I'm certainly not telling you you're wrong by any means. Don't take it that way, not even a little bit. But me personally, I'd like to see them trade back up into the high again. They put in a peak formation high on the 5-minute chart, which is good. And of course, you know, it could just do whatever it's going to do. But I prefer not to trade the stop hunt trade. You know, if this is actually a good high of day sell, I want it to go from high of day back down to low of day. I think I'm going to wait a bit, personally. They just made a lower low on the inside on the 1-minute chart. Buy low on gold happened in the London session, yes. Peak formation low, big W, level 1 consolidation. Engulfment at 8 a.m. to the upside. NASDAQ continuing to trap shorts. This is a good case study behavior. Peak formation high, 1, 2 down. Just kidding. Engulfment, 1, 2, 3. Just kidding. The close are ascending. Higher high. Just kidding. They're dragging shorts. If I want to take a short trade, that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna get hooked in. US 30, peak formation high, stop hunt to the low. Just kidding. Comes back down, doesn't let them out. I could be wrong about gold. If it just goes vertical, then so be it. That'd be like a crazy A-top on the 15-minute chart where it just went straight up and straight back down. Which, of course, you know, happens, but all right, so if I short anywhere after 9 o'clock, where's 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock. Right now, they've got me. This is why I like using the time down here on a lower time frame. I throw that up there because it tells a story from left to right. You can see where people are, you can physically see where people are getting caught. I go back to the 5 just to make sure I'm not getting sucked into a lower time frame. Yep, still dragging. You can see it down on the 1-minute chart, but even here on the 5-minute chart, you can really see it. That guy's still hooked. Good luck. Wish you the best. 1, 2, 3. Who knows? But you know, they're not rewarding shorts right now. They're hooking and jabbing to keep those people in, or suck more of them in. This big down close candle looking left, this is where the shorts are caught. You can see, again, you can physically see them down low. 1, 2, 3 to the low. Somebody traded this breakout short, and they're hooked in right now. They got triggered in at the low of the day. They're still caught in this big down close candle. If I sold the close, I am SOL. Tom, hopefully hopefully you'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing the same thing, same time. This is a really good example of why retail just loves to counter trend. And look how beautiful this pattern is. Now, I've told you all I'm not comfortable with certain kinds of trend trades. Now, this is a fantastic opportunity. But I'm just not comfortable with these types of trades. So, it's not my expertise. It's not what I feel the best about. So I just have opted to stay out. I'd rather wait for where I feel like I have a better understanding, or a trade that I'm used to seeing and getting into. Like, if this first green would have occurred and, I would have been able to get in at low of day or something like that, or the news didn't mess me up and put me at the high of the day, buying long at the high of the day, maybe I would have been better off doing that. But, as of right now, am I going to keep looking to take a long trade? Probably not. Is it going to continue to go higher? It certainly could. So I don't have a setup. Tony, maybe. The only thing is I would like to see them put in a peak formation high. This 15-minute bar that went straight up, that's fine. How many times have we seen an A-top form? I can't trade A-tops. I know my strengths and weaknesses, if that makes sense. If this does turn into an A-top and they just go vertical, so be it. Intraday, good to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Like, the 1-minute chart looked fine, but I don't want to take a 1-minute setup. That just, the 5-minute chart, we put in a peak formation high on the 5, which is good. If they trade back up into the high and roll over, then I would feel good about taking the short. But as we sit right now, I don't feel good about this. Well, currently, right this very second, right? I would need to see a few more steps be completed. Or, overall, maybe this just is exactly what we just talked about. Maybe this is all trap volume at the low of the week, low of current week. And I need to stop looking for that short anyways. But if this is breakout pullback for the continuation short, like I said, I need to wait for more steps. So I've got my line drawn up there, and I'll see how price behaves when we get back up there, if we get back up there. What is it? What's an A-top? A-top is when they go straight up, and they just go straight back down. So if you look at the 15-minute chart on gold, if they were to have gone up, put in this middle bar, and then they were to just keep going down, I really struggle to trade those because I've more often than not, I get caught thinking, oh, maybe it's an A-top, and it's just a pullback, and I get hemmed up. A tops, V bottoms. They just go straight up, straight down, straight back up. Oh gosh. Sorry to hear that intraday. I don't know much about South Africa, if I'm being honest. I'm a little bit unaware, but you know, I hope everything works out just fine. Yep, there you go. That's a good explanation, Rem. Thank you. They went straight up, and then they just went straight back down. Not a 5-minute chart. So that is a good A top. Huge difference with this A top, though, is they engulf the previous bar. And if you look over on gold, compare and contrast, we have this big up close bar. Previous bar opened. They didn't engulf the previous bar. It's just inside of that previous bar's range. So over here, let's go back down to the 5. We can take a look. So they went up and went into consolidation, even on the 50 or on the 5-minute chart. Up, down, up, engulfment to downside, breakout, fake out bar. Like that is kind of a better pattern compared to gold, where it kind of feels like I'm getting caught in a short. This down move is all inside of the previous bar. This could just be a pullback. NASDAQ is going bonkers. Man, that is pretty. I'm a charting nerd. And this is a very clean and pretty chart. And I'll tell you all right now, this day right here is what used to blow my account over and over again. I was trading, even with Stacey's, teachings and things, I would be trading these and I'd be like, okay, I'm at the high of the day, time to look for a sell. But I was missing those little details that matter about who's getting trapped, when and where, process for entry, and all that stuff. This is the type of day that would have blown my account, and I would have kept on trying to short over and over again. You train yourself, and you can see, like I was kind of going over a second ago, train yourself to see the shorts just getting absolutely obliterated. If you tried to short, or if you thought maybe I should take a short, what if I short this bar right here? That's a double top right there. That's a peak formation high. What if I short this bar right here? Ooh. Ouch. All right, let me try again. It's fine. There was a 1, 2, 3 up and an engulfment. I'll try again. Okay, I short this bar. Ooh. Ow. Right. Okay, man, are you talking about on NASDAQ? JP, let's see. Number one, it's through my own studies that I've kind of done that. I have it in the course. I talk a lot about it in my webinar, of course. But if you would like to find books and things, man, where? I don't know if I can't think of anywhere where there's like a super detailed. Like I know Al Brooks talks about buying down closed bars in an up move. But I can't think off the bat like where you could find a detailed. Gotcha, JP. No, yeah. Boy, NASDAQ is going bonkers. US 30. I try to short anywhere in this creeper down. 930 is holding. People below there are trapped. They've got people shorting into the low. Stuart, are you long, Stuart? Very nice. JP, fantastic. I think a lot of you that are in this right now, a lot of you have been in the webinar, and a lot of you that are in the webinar are the ones saying that you're doing well right now, which, you know, that's makes me feel pretty good. Gold looks good. I still think I'm going to maintain the idea that I want to see them go back to the high. And if that, if time expires 11 o'clock and we're still not set up properly, I'm going to be done. But I'll wait till the end of the session for gold and just check and see. But when we get this late in the session, I start itching to just press the button. I'm feeling pretty good though. I don't feel that need. I took it was like a little over $100 scalp on an oil earlier, which $100, who cares? But Anders. Oh, here we go again. The daily UPS delivery. And my dog's going absolutely bonkers. My dog's probably going to set all y'all's dogs off again. At least today, UPS yesterday, they honked the horn 5 times, and dogs were going nuts. US 30, you can see the squeeze exploding now. Not that that's me taking a trade setup or anything, but it's just nice to understand the story of what's happening. Yep, blue. That's exactly. There's a narrative within every single type of consolidation on which way the pattern could break because where are people trapped? And sometimes that's why I really don't like symmetrical triangles. Symmetrical triangles are really, oh man, they're ugly. Why? Why are symmetrical triangles ugly? Well, or pennant. Honestly, I don't even. I think this is just symmetrical. It could be called what, a pennant or something. Whatever. Who cares what the name is? But whenever you get these triangles like this, what is happening? They've got shorts trying to go short. They've got longs trying to go long. They got shorts trying to go short, except now they're not letting out previous shorts. Then they try to go back up. We've got longs trapped. Just kidding. Come back down. Now we got shorts trapped again. So they got both sides of the market trapped. And then this could stop hunt up and then do this. It could just stop hunt or, start explode. Whatever. They can break in both directions, but it's not about, oh gosh, there's a triangle. I'm going to trade the triangle. No, I'm looking in the pattern and seeing, okay, well, people are trapped in both directions. I should just wait and see which side of the market they start rewarding. If I'm going to take that trade anyways, at all. If there's a larger trade thesis or whatever. Descending triangles. Same concept. Think about it like this. We've got the descending triangle coming down. And they've got people shorting into the low early. Longs are trapped. Shorting into the low early. Longs are trapped. Shorting into the low early. Longs are trapped. Break to the downside. Explosive move. You physically watch those shorts starting to get rewarded. Good stuff. Oh my gosh. If y'all can hear that barking, I'm very sorry. Inverse head and shoulders. Head and shoulders. Head. People going long, getting triggered in at the previous high. Comes back down. Now we've got people going long and going long and going long. And if you look at these head and shoulders patterns, you'll notice that when they trade back up over here to this high, that's the trap. Now we've got people going long, triggered in long, going long on the pullback. Just kidding. I'm just looking for evidence of that to be true. All right, that would be a peak formation high example as well. US 30. Yeah, I think they're delivering. We got a dresser or something, so we're. Hopefully, he actually drops it off and doesn't just leave. Where was the break in structure? 3 pushes down. Look at 930. Higher highs. We're making higher highs. This is lower low. Break in structure to the upside. Higher high. Break of structure. Pullback. Ascending closes. 930 opens up. And you can see them jamming into the low. There's the ascension and the explosion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're very late in the session. I usually don't trade this late. There was definitely some trades that could have been taken today, setups-wise, that actually were trading setups and were good. Nothing that I was really particularly extremely fond of. I did take that gold or the oil scalp for a little over $100 or so. Nothing crazy. I'm going to be back tomorrow, same exact time, 8 a.m. Ready to go. Tomorrow's Wednesday. There's no news on the calendar. Third day of the week. Looking for explosive moves. Things that are going to go 50, 100, 200 pips or more on that third day of the week. Looking for those big explosive setups. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have got a little something from this. Hopefully it's been useful. Maybe you picked up on a one-liner, or maybe you just listened to my rant earlier today. Who knows? Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.